In Belarus, ex-Soviet Republic of Russia, sits the tiny village of Blan, just 200 miles from the Chernobyl nuclear disaster of 1986. The orphanage in Blan is home to 65 children who came into the world with severe handicaps and diseases. Cancer is prevalent. The Belarusian government refers to the children as throwaway children. When Samaritan's Purse first started working with the orphanage, the children were lying in damp cribs in the dark without stimulation for days at a time. They weren't diapered, there were no bathrooms, and they never went outside. The orphanage was in a small village of about 20 homes. The orphanage staff has been washing laundry in 10-hour shifts using one ancient leaking machine and a bathtub. The clothes never got completely clean or dry, which was contributing to many eye and skin diseases. I was asked to put together a team of linemen and electricians for upgrading the orphanage power supply and laundry. Our first task was to rebuild 200 yards of overhead power line and replace a 90 kVA transformer feeding the village with a 200 kVA transformer. Working with the locals required an interpreter and lots of patience. The next mission opportunity in Kosovo was at a Kosovo War refugee camp. For most of the 1990s, the eyes of the world were drawn to the conflicts in the Balkans. The war pitting Serbia against Bosnia and Croatia dominated news for years. With hundreds of thousands of people killed, missing, or driven from their homes, that conflict was among the most devastating of our time. During the conflict in the Serbian region of Kosovo, the refugee population comprised mainly of women, children, and older men. The male population from Kosovo, ages 10 to 60, was either fighting or had been killed as they tried to flee. The Serbian forces wiped out almost an entire generation of men. As tens of thousands of Kosovo refugees fled to neighboring Albania, Europe's poorest country, Samaritan's Purse was called on by the United Nations to build a camp for 10,000 refugees, with estimates for as many as 25,000 in growth. They were assigned 180 acres of farming flatland off the Adriatic Sea. I was asked to go over and install propane generators for perimeter lighting, as well as power in the medics, administration, and baking tents. Refugees would help with digging ditches and stringing wire on 2x4s for $1 an hour. My most recent mission in May of this year was to the Kujip Nazarene Hospital, located in the center of Papua New Guinea, the island nation just north of Australia. Being one of the most undeveloped countries in the world, they struggle in every way imaginable. They have over 700 languages, 72% unemployment, with an average pay for those who do work of $70 per month. The Nazarene Hospital is the only medical facility in a 200-mile radius. While they have only 110 beds, each year the facility performs 50,000 outpatient visits, 4,100 inpatient admissions, 850 deliveries with an 18% C-section rate, and 650 major surgical procedures. Kujip Nazarene Hospital also provides primary health services that include sexuality transmitted disease, TB, and leprosy program prevention and treatment. Presently, new facilities are under construction. Papua New Guinea has some of the most unstable power supply in the world. Therefore, in the 90s, the Nazarene Church put in a hydro generator system to power the hospital and surrounding missionary housing. In recent years, the hydro turbine has experienced major problems, coupled with their dam washing away in a severe flood last year. As we disassembled the hydro turbine, what a mess. Cavitations and scored and scraped metal everywhere. The main shaft at the propeller bearing had a 1/4-inch deep groove cut into it from the main bearing failure. I felt sorry for the national in charge of the machine. He has a 6th grade education in Papua New Guinea and no instruments for precise measurements. Since losing their hydro system, the hospital had to go back onto the national power grid, which has resulted in destroying much of the equipment in the hospital. This being the case, Samaritan's Purse was approached for help and advice that led to this mission trip. While there, I worked with the National over maintenance, training him in basic electrical theory and maintenance. We replaced every connection on 38 poles in 10 days, working off an extension ladder that cost us $1,500. The power poles were metal and no bucket truck existed. Samaritan's Purse engineer Bill Wright was able to schedule a meeting with Noah, the electrical engineer from the National Power Company. We first took him to the power quality meter to show him how we were doing the power quality measurements. Afterwards, we retreated to the conference room and showed him examples of the quality coming from Papua New Guinea. The expressions on his face said it all as his eyes dropped out. We explained what this does to equipment in the hospital, and he just shook his head. Noah later said he had never seen such indication of the power quality in Papua New Guinea. He also said he knew of nothing his country could do to improve conditions, which was culturally consistent with other events we experienced. The Nazarene Agency has also started a public school for children in the area. Notice several students have machetes. Most students return to the field after school to help their family with crops. As we walked through different villages for an hour and 20 minutes to get to church one Sunday, we had the opportunity to take several pictures of the culture in Papua New Guinea. The weather is wonderful year-round. Mornings are usually clear or partly cloudy, warming up through the day and often with rain in the late afternoon or evening. Average rainfall is 168 inches per year, or 14 inches per month. Temperatures range from lows around 60 degrees to high in the mid-80s. Most housing consists of thatched roof houses with dirt floors and no indoor plumbing or electric. People wash their clothes in the nearby river. The nearest city is Mount Hagen, over an hour drive away. On weekends the city is very crowded as people come to purchase supplies and sell their produce in the open market. Presently, I am planning and raising funds for my next mission opportunity to Mukinji Hospital, which is in Zambia, Africa. The hospital is the only health care in a region of 250,000 people in the far western area of Zambia. Poverty is prevalent in the area, as can be expected. The hospital on occasion gets some government assistance with medical equipment. Mukinji Hospital has 200 beds. They do 1,300 to 1,400 deliveries a year. In addition, Mukinji Hospital cares for an average of 150 to 160 inpatients per day and 160 to 180 outpatients per day. Local patients travel as far as 5 days on foot or bike to reach the hospital. The primary purpose of the trip is to upgrade the electrical system. We will replace the main cable between the transformer and the generator house, including a new breaker at the transformer. Install a new automatic transfer switch in the generator house. Rearrange the main utility switches in the generator house. Install an automatic diesel control panel on the 200 kVA diesel generator set. Install a 6,000 watt battery inverter system to supply power to the laboratory and OR theaters, including new wiring, and fix multiple wiring issues on the power line. ZESCO is the national electrical utility, and they struggle with underfunded distribution systems. Power outages are common and random due to the poor distribution systems. We will not get any help from them for this work.
If you would like to help Ken with his mission efforts or to learn more, you can email Ken at 6061thomas@charter.net or contact him by phone at area code 828-506-9873. Contributions would be greatly appreciated and may be mailed directly to Ken Thomas, 4198 Pigeon Road, Waynesville, North Carolina, 28786. Thank you.